Hello, everybody, and how's everybody doing? Look, no countdown today. I get because I'm just so excited again. I have two amazing powerhouse again. They're sitting in the green room. I can't wait till you guys see who is all coming to the table with me today and joining me and my co-hosts. I have yes, two amazing co-hosts. I can't wait for you guys to meet them, hear their stories, and meet them. If you guys have any questions, as you know, and how I like to do it, drop them in the feed. You know, I love interaction, and I love here to empower and inspire you. But before I go into my whole how everything, you guys know how I do it. I want to tell you a little bit about the podcast. But before I do, I want to ask you, are you sitting someplace at a desk or at a company or organization and you want to do more, but you don't know how to get there? Or better yet, are you doing a job, but you just know in your body, you know you can do more, but you just don't know how to get there? There's so many more questions, but those questions actually they went through my head. See, I worked in corporate and I'm still in corporate, but just this one particular day, I literally broke down. And I mean, broke down, I literally broke down. I was sitting at my desk and looking around, like, literally looking around, like, this is it. This is my life. This is how I'm going to end. And I was upset. And then I realized, no, it's not. So I got myself together and then I started asking around other women. And I'm like, so what is your guys's what's next? And a lot didn't know. I even went further and I said, how about if I remove all barriers? What would you do? They still didn't know. So at that time, I knew that this is what the podcast had to be about, where I can go out and I can empower and inspire women to go after their what's next, no matter what. Understand that we're going to face the three F's: fear, fault, and failure, but still going after our what's next. So not only are you going to hear my story, but I want you to hear women around the world, hear how they're going after their what's next. You hear women around the world doing, I had a woman that did sells cannabis as a business, a chef. I have women that are still loving the corporate job, but they wanted to build up the corporate ladder. I've even had some women that loves what they're doing, but knowing that they love they're doing and their what's next is still going out and doing satisfying their souls or their purpose and wanting to find that purpose. So that's what we're here for. To not only you're going to get empowered and inspired by my two amazing co-hosts. I can't wait for you to meet them. But then today's Win Wednesday. What is your win for this week? You all know I love doing wins. I love celebrating wins. May the win be big, may it be small, or may you not even have a win and you're like, well, what's a win? A win is a goal that you are set for the week. I believe in small goals because once you have the small goals, you will achieve the big goals, right? So tell us in the feed as we go through the show. Tell us what is your win for this week. If you have any questions, drop it in the feed. Anything you want, ask these ladies. They definitely will be here so to answer you. And if you miss us or if you miss the show and you're wanting to still ask questions, please do. Because remember, we're all about empowering you to get you to your what's next. So, okay, you guys ready? So for one of my co-hosts, it is Kimberly Cummins. Yes, Kimberly Cummins is she actually is an amazing woman. She's a Delta Sigma Theta. Sorry, because my sister, if she heard me stumble, she would get me. So I apologize now. She is also part of the NAACP Bloomington Normal chapter. She participates in the 2018 class of Illinois Women's Institute for Leadership. She's a 2019 Edgar Fellow, and she ran for state representative in the 105th district in 2020. And it's called and her and is her calling and duty and obligation is to serve others. And I'm so this is what I really love. She says life is is most fulfilled when we serve someone other than ourselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on Kimberly. Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi.
For you.
How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you. Well, let me bring on our next amazing co host. So, yes, ladies, I told you I have T Powerhouse here. The next one is Joanne. Joanne left her version of the corporate world in 2016 to create a nonprofit called In Our Hands. As she says to groups who are interested in planning trips, I want to help individuals and groups find places and projects that they are passionate about so they can serve I want to serve, I'm sorry, to help serve our local or global community in a variety of ways. During my work as a minister, I had led many service serving teams both overseas and statewide. I love helping people find the joy of building and creating together. The goal in our hands is to create a better world. Wow. Through trips to combine travel, service, and learning. And so, you guys, without further ado, let's bring Miss Joanne on. Hello, Miss Joanne. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks.
Good.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a blast, a blast, a blast. Well, furthermore, as you all had, but you both had given me your bio, but tell them a little bit more about yourself, Joanne. Tell a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. I am have been most of my working days, or my version of corporate, as I said in my bio there, has been as a minister in the Lutheran Church, and I've really enjoyed that. And so I wasn't seeking a way out from what I was doing. I loved working with people. I loved working in the church, not every day, but most of the time. And but over the years, I would take groups on trips. I did a couple of mission type trips to Africa, to Tanzania and Malawi. I did a couple of trips to Jamaica, and many trips to the southern part of the U.S. and helped do rebuilding after the hurricanes and storms, and just a couple of more typical churchy type trips, like with youth groups. And so I would go on all these trips, and then I would come back with just a real excitement about the experience that people had on those trips. And I would think, how could I make this even a better experience? How can I make it bigger and more impacting on the people that would go? And so that's what led me to finally start this nonprofit called In Our Hands. Because I would come back from these trips and write down madly all these ideas about how to make it a better experience. And I thought, I just need to figure out how to do that. So that's what I'm doing now. I still help out at churches a little bit, but it's something that I've just been so excited about, because it's really deep in my heart to do this and to take people to serve. And Kimberly, you have that passion too, to help people serve the world, which is cool. So
Yeah.
I do.
So tell us a little bit more, Kimberly, about yourself.
Sure. And I think, I've served in a variety of ways, but currently I'm serving as the Town of Normal City Councilwoman. And I'm actually the first African American to ever hold that position. So there's been a lot of weight on my shoulders in that.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you talk about corporate world, I'm still in the corporate world full time. I work for State Farm. And for me, I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and now I live in Illinois. And certainly looking for opportunities to continue to serve my community. That was something that I was brought up with, and was a big thing that my grandmother pushed. And so that's a great part of who I am. So to know me is to know that about me. But I love to cook. So if that's something else to really know about me. I love, love, love to cook. And to me, it is a love language. So, you are family. It's my way of showing love if I cook for you.
Nice.
Duly noted. Duly noted. We'll have to talk about that a little bit more. But you ladies, let's go step back, because as you know, we're up here empowering women to go after their what's next. But let's take a step back further. Have you guys ever faced your what ifs and I can'ts and the 3 F's, fear, fault, and failure? And if so, tell the ladies, or our audience, not ladies, gentlemen as well, tell the audience, what did you face and how did you overcome it?
Well, I would love to start, because I think my whole life's journey has kind of been that way. And I'll tell anybody, I feel like I've had a couple of lives because you go through that. But I think for me, the one that I really want to share tonight was, for me to even be in this position of being on town council came about from hitting that what's next, the what if and the I can't. And I was just in a place where I didn't know what to do and I was really falling apart. And, when you don't find your purpose, you feel like something's missing and you're constantly looking for it. And at the time in my life, I was married and I was trying to actually get my ex-husband to run for office. And so that was the push to get him to run. And, I was supportive and like, let's do this and we can make it happen. And he looked at me and was like, I think you should run. And to give you a little background, I have a degree in political science. I had one day thought maybe I'd be a city manager, but I felt like that was that youthful dream that you just throw in the back of your mind and say it'll never happen. And so when the question came about, I'm not gonna lie, as most of us do, was like, I gotta pray on that and I gotta think about that because you start to think about the what ifs and I can't do that. Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to want me to be their representative? And so you have all these things that stop and block you from taking that step of to what could be next. And it's funny because it was like, also at the same time, I was already praying, Lord, help me find my purpose. Help me begin to move into the direction you have me. But when this came about, I was hesitant to make that step. And so, thinking back on some of that, then that's kind of propelled me to say, okay, no, let's do this. And with that, you come through another season and like I said, I know I'm not necessarily made to end my career in corporate America. I think it will be some way, shape, form, or fashion in political service, whether it be in an elected position or a non-elected position. And so it pushed me and propelled me when I began to again ask about the what's next in my life, run for state representative. And when you talk about the 3 F's, I did it, but I didn't win, so that's that failure, but you take it away and use it as a stepping stone to say, okay, what can we do better? What can we change? If there's anything, or is there something else I needed to learn in that and use it for something else I'm going to do?
Absolutely. So Joanne, what about you?
Wow, I admire you for just taking those steps. That is just great. That prayer you prayed is about exactly word for word the same one I prayed, I think. I think for me, that was more the fear of how am I going to make this work? Certainly it might not work, but I tried many things in my work and if they didn't always work out. So it wasn't so much it not working, but I was at a point of thinking about retirement sometime in the future. This is a few years ago. I've been unmarried for a long time. My kids were pretty much out on their own. And it was a good time in my life to make a change. So my question was, how am I going to do this? How am I going to find the money to do this? I'm going to try this for a while and I'm not going to be able to make money at it. So how am I going to make it work? So I sat down with somebody with my retirement program and figured out if I could retire and live off my retirement a little bit for a few years before I started to make some money with this. And I figured out how to do that. And I also live really cheap. So so that's not so hard. But I did it. And now now this last year, I haven't been able to travel for the whole year. So I really haven't been able to do what I've wanted, although I have a lot of things I'm working on. And so I've been working actually in a church for the whole past year, which has been wonderful. But you just got to take a step. And if it doesn't work, something else will work out. And it's a little fearful, it's that standing on a cliff and taking that step forward. And every time I've taken that step, something else falls in line. It's just so cool to watch that happen.
I agree with you. I too never in a million years thought I would be here on a podcast with meeting women such as yourselves around the world. Never, because I'm an introvert. Let me just say this. Though yes, I speak here, but I'm an introvert. And to think that I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And I here am meeting some amazing women, though I did face the three F's, and I really faced it hard. And I tell women that I faced it hard because I allowed society to dictate to me what they want me to do, not for me to live my norm, not their norm. So I want everyone to understand, as we are out here talking, understand that we're living our norm, not society's, not anybody else's. We're living our norm. And you do face fear, and you do face failure, and you do face fault. But I have to say, as even as one of my idols is Beyonce, yes, Beyonce. She even said that she doesn't fear, or she does not fear failure. Failure is what catapults her to the next level. And I'm starting to grasp that more because, okay, let me think about how am I going, okay, this didn't work. So let me figure another way, a deviated way to get to where I got to get to. If nothing else, I'll go call one of the millions of ladies that are with me in this. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm thinking of. Now, this is what didn't work. So, what you think how I can get to where I want to get to? And I want women to understand that this is the group, this is a tribe that you can come in and you're not being judged. Now, I had someone do that? I did have a couple ladies come in and they were judging. And so I will let you know there is no judgment here and they're never allowed to come back. And that's that. I believe we need to come into a safe space. Believe we need to go arm in arm and we're going to face whatever comes, but we're doing arm in arm and we're going to do what we want to do and we want to do it our way. So I just want women to understand that's another piece of the puzzle of the tribe here that, I don't know everything. And as you see, I have two other amazing women that are doing things that they're wanting to do. So I can talk to them and you can connect with them. So just note that there is no impossible. All it is possible for you to go after what you want to do. So real quick, what I really like, I like you both. I love what you both had talked about, how, you face the fear and you step back and you notice after you step back 2 steps forward, you move 2 steps forward. So we have a lot of women though that are sitting at the corporate desk and are like, what do I do? Where do I start at? So what would you tell a woman if someone is sitting at their desk like, okay, I hear you guys' story, but I'm not even nowhere close to where you're at. So what would you tell them? Kimberly?
Oh, okay. I can go first. I was letting Joe in, but I've been there, sitting at a cubicle, and literally for me, what I had to start doing was writing it down. That has to be your first way of vision, having the vision for it, for whatever it is you want to do, is literally writing. And I'm a post-it note girl. Even right now I've got post-it notes. I'm a post-it note girl and I put post-it notes everywhere. And so writing it down, it helps. And as you put it somewhere where you can see on a regular basis. And that's the first step, for me. And then I think as you begin to move through that and find out what is it that you want to do, what does it take to make it happen? And so I think those have been the steps that I've taken while sitting sometimes at that corporate desk, like, what is this going to look like for me? And so never feel like just because you're sitting at that corporate desk, it's your prison to your passion and your purpose, because it's not.
And Joanne, what about you?
A couple things. I think the first trips that I was doing with people, I would come back from these trips, like I mentioned, and just start writing down ideas. I would write down, what could I have added to that trip? What kind of trip would I like to do besides this trip? And ideas of trips I'd love to do. One of my dreams is to take people from different faith backgrounds all on a service trip together and then have them talk between one another so that they can develop relationships and cross some of those boundaries that we're all struggling with all the time. So I have all these little dream trips I would love to do. Then I met with a coach a couple of times and she had me do a vision board online and then an actual paper, cut it out, put it on a poster vision board. I see you do those too, Pamela.
Yes, I
And
do.
I really believe in those. At least that was very powerful for me to get pictures out there of what would this look like, what could it be. And then I've been meeting with a coach for several years who has kind of helped me go from this kind of general idea about taking trips and doing service to how is this going to look? Who are you going to take? How are you going to reach those people? Who's your target group? You know, I'm still working some of those things out, but she really helped me hone down this picture and get it from a big picture down to little steps. And then I've joined a women's business group, which is new for me because I've never been in the business world. And those women really were new friends for me, but also encouragers. And it was the kind of group where it was always positive, no complaining, no judgment. We're here to build each other up. It was not like a men's business group, you know, where there's this kind of sense of competition. It was really very, you know, we're here to help each other. And a number of women in that group have sat down and said, here's an idea to try, and here's how can I encourage you? What can I do to support you? And that just meant so much to me that other women would take the time to listen to my ideas and then add to it. So those are 4 things at least. I could add a lot more. But those are
Any regrets, ladies? Any regrets on what you're doing?
I think my only regret is I didn't do sooner. I think, you know, fear gets in our way so easily. And, you know, Joanne, you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier too, you know, the money, you know, so we think about those things. And right now, I think my next regret is kind of that I'm not pushing myself to go for my next, what's next as fast as I should. Because, you know, you're right. You think about the money and what it's going to take to propel yourself in certain spaces, and whether you stay in corporate or not, everything costs, you know, and I can tell you about election costs all day long.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know that would be crazy.
Yes. But yeah, I think my biggest regret is not trusting, first of all, my God, let alone myself, enough to do it sooner.
I
agree. I
agree too. I regret that. I regret, man, I wish I did this so sooner. But I'm loving the journey. Don't get me wrong. I love the journey that I'm on. But man, if I could have did this so much sooner.
I think I don't know about timing, but I'm just so glad I did it when I did it, because I've learned so much just in this process of making happen what's happened, getting the nonprofit thing put together, starting the plans on the next trips. Every part of that, I just love it. So I'm doing what I really love.
Yeah. So we do have someone that's facing like, okay, you guys are all doing it. You know, you guys all talk about the money. What piece of advice can you tell them about the money? What can they do? How can they get past it? And don't let it stop them.
I would just what you said. Don't let it stop you. You know, I'm not rich at all. Like I said, I still have to work a corporate job, but I think those resources come when you're passionate about something. People see that in you, and they'll support you, no matter what. So I would say let that really. I don't want to say let it be the last thing you think of, but don't let that be the thing at the beginning and the thing that actually scares you away from going after it, because the resources that you need will come. And not just money, like, you know, even for me, having people who wanted to volunteer their time, or people who wanted to endorse me or give a word or stamp of approval. And it just began to come more and more. So I certainly encourage people, don't let money be the reason it stops you.
I think it maybe helps to ask yourself, how much money do I need? I decided at this stage in my life, I didn't need as much as I had in my last position. And I was okay with that. I had to decide that was okay. And now I have more than I'm not anywhere near have as probably as much as I'd like to have, but I have just what I need. And that's, I don't think about money very much. I have what I need and I'm content.
Oh, that's good. That is so good. So knowing that nothing's stopping you, look at your ladies are doing some amazing work, and I so appreciate you. So now we've talked about our obstacles that we face, and now we've talked about what we're doing. But what is your guys' what's next? What is it? What are you guys working on? What do you see yourself doing?
Well, for me is there's a creative side of me that for years I've wanted to get out there. And so hopefully I'll get that opportunity to share some of that creative side and as well as my cooking. That has been actually during COVID. So, COVID brought out a lot of stuff in a lot of people. And a lot of people didn't really know that I cook the way I do. And so I started doing these cooking with Kim shows first off in the pandemic, come in my kitchen, we're going to cook, because I wanted to stay in front of my audience. And, after that, we kind of slowed down on doing the videos, but I would put out pictures and people ask me all the time. So I would love to do something with that. It's a passion of mine, like being, creating dishes and cooking, like I said, cooking for people. It's everything to me. So to be able to be in that creative space, I would love to have that opportunity. So that's what I would like to move towards and kind of looking as my what next.
Cool. I like that. Cooking. Okay. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. Joanne, what about you?
I think I want to go on a trip with Kim and have her teach cooking.
Put her on a cruise ship and we
Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I think I want to just do, it's been hard to not be able to travel. I've had a trip to India planned for the last literally 2 years now. And we're supposed to go in November of this year to the south part of India and do a build. It's a house building program. And I just don't know if it's going to work because I don't know if we can go. I think you can still get tickets there right now, but the situation there still isn't good. And I don't know how it's going to be in a couple months. But I've made the decision I'm just going to go for it. If the people who have signed up for the trip are okay with traveling and if we can go and actually do the program, then we're going to go. So, obviously COVID's changed a lot of things, but I'm going to go where I can and take people who are excited and motivated to do that kind of thing. And then add more content to the trip. So we're not just going and doing the service project, but that there's a teaching time and a conversation time, building up one another time within the work that we do.
Yeah,
So.
I know. I don't know. I can see the podcasting just getting bigger and bigger. I see doing some amazing things with you women, like the going on a cruise. Don't ask me why. I've been on it several times, but going on a cruise with some empowering women such as yourselves, and we do some fun things. Maybe, yeah. I'm like you, Joanne. Have Kimberly teaching us how to cook. I think that's so amazing. I think we need to put that on the books. But just going out and just being amongst women and being empowering, as well as I have a magazine, and the magazine, it's flourishing beyond my wildest dreams, and to see where it can take, where I wanted to take it or where it's going to go, I don't know, but that's where I want to, that's my what's next. We'll see.
Well, there's so many women that are moving out of the traditional workforce, whatever that means, and need that encouragement and these ideas, just like what you're doing. So I just thought your idea of a podcast was so cool because there's a lot of people moving in this direction.
Thank you. Well, ladies, we're halfway, believe it or not, this has been fun. We're halfway through the show. I'm going to take a real quick break. And everybody, so you guys, ladies, just sit back for a few minutes. But everybody, I want you to understand that today's show has been, it's been sponsored by the Vision Made magazine. Yes, my magazine, where we're out here empowering and inspiring women to go after their what's next. But the magazine is all about a tool. It shows you how to, vision boards, because I believe in vision boards. I'm like Joanne, I truly believe in vision boards. Oh, you can't see, I do have 3 of them. They're behind me though. I have 3 vision boards. So I truly believe in the vision boards, and how you put on the vision board, you manifest it, it does come true to life. Now you can't do this big thing, you're going to be an astronaut, and we haven't even worked on that. So, those kind of things won't work. But if you become realistic, it does work. I promise you, I've done it. If you want to go and do work, drop it in the feed below on how to do vision board. Just let me know. and I definitely will connect with you. As well as it is also sponsored by the nonprofit here in Columbus, Ohio, which is At the Table. At the Table is a nonprofit organization that we are empowering, inspiring young women and girls here in Columbus to go. To teach them that they can go after their what's next, knowing that they can thrive to however they want to. So that is also another organization that is sponsoring this show, today's show. So without further ado, let's do something fun, ladies. So as we talked about your love passion, Kim talked about her cooking. So Joanne, what's your love passion?
Oh boy, I have so many little things I have my hands into. I really love my little dog who just decided to start barking here, so I hope that he quits. We do a lot of things together. I read a lot. I'm reading all the time, and I swim. That's my new passion. I swim about 3 times a week and do a lot of walking. So
nice. Well, Kimberly, you talked about your love passion. Other than cooking, what else do you like to do?
Oh gosh, one, I love my family, so spending any time that I can with them is just, I get energy from that. I get, that's my where I get charged up again, batteries on low. Go be with my family. But I also love to write. That is something that I've loved to do since I was a child, and it's on the same line as cooking for me, when it comes to things I'm passionate about.
Nice. Yeah, I do. I love family. Family is so. I was telling the ladies, and I'll tell you all, audience. I just come whizzing out from my parents' house and whizzing up the stairs where the show, and I spent time with my mom and dad. I cherish all the time that I can spend with my family, because family is it. And they really re-energize me. So with you on the family thing so much. But yeah, so then we also talked about, as we had talked about our love passion, I always believe about empowerment as we talk about empowering each other, inspiring each other with our stories, as well as with some tips, and we'll give a little bit more tips. But also, I believe empowerment in reading. And so as you all know, if those of you who are new to the show, we always do book on the shelf. And so I always believe empowering our minds and expanding and broadening our minds. So I always talk about the book on the shelf. So Kimberly, are you reading a book? And if so, what's the book you're reading?
So I'm not currently. I just finished a couple, but one that I love and can read over and over again, to be honest, and I love sharing this one, is Dear Madam President. And it's almost like a letter to whoever might be the first woman president. But I think in the space that I'm in, any woman, and especially if you're going to be a first, should read it. It really gives you the energy that you need to take the fight on, because it's a very heavy male dominated field. And so, it's like, be prepared for these things, but here's some encouragement along the way. And it actually follows along and uses as a background the election with Hillary Clinton. So,
well, I'm gonna have to read that book. Joanne, what book are you reading?
Well, it's funny you asked that today, because I just started reading this. It's called it's sitting right here. It's called Cassandra. I can't even put Cassandra Speaks, and this woman's talking about like the classic stories of the myth stories and some of the biblical stories, like Adam and Eve, some of the classics that we all learned, and how they're all written by men. And she asked some really intriguing questions, like, what if these classic stories and questions that we all learned were answered and written by women? How would that look different? And how would that give us more power? Like, Cassandra was a mythological figure who was cursed and told that she could use her voice, but no one would believe her or take her seriously. And I got to thinking how that's been true of so many women through history, is that, oh, that's just women talking. We won't really listen to what they say. And so she kind of poses the question and turns it around. Really, really good stories.
So you said that was Cassandra?
Cassandra Speaks by
Oh,
Elizabeth Lesser.
love it.
What if women are the storytellers? It's just
I
really good.
I am reading. Actually, I am reading Sarah Jake's "Women Evolve," and it talks about focusing on ourselves. You know, because and I feel that we as women we take on so much of the world, especially now with COVID's going on. You know, we're trying to absorb everything and still trying to somewhat have a normal life, which is so crazy. You know, and so in her book she talks about focusing on you and take you value you as you and let no one else value you. And so I really like the book and it's really good, so I highly recommend those. But these are three amazing books that women should really take into and just read. You know, I am all about reading. I'm all about, you know, hearing everybody, you know, empowering yourself. And okay, I don't watch TV, so leave the TV alone a little bit and read a little bit. I'm always telling everybody, leave the TV alone for 5 minutes and read and just empower yourself and know that, you know, work on your what's next, whatever it may be, and let no one take your what's next away. This is another reason why the podcast is here. I've spoken to so many women around the world where people, their significant others were like, I don't think you should do that. But yet she wanted to do it. And I understand there's a totally different dynamic, but I had to let the women know, remember, you have your idea, and you know, you need to value your idea, but don't want to put them in harm's way. But just note that you have an idea, you have what you want to do it, get support, figure out how you can get it, but don't sit back and let it pass you by, because I promise you the doubt comes and doubt brings everybody else with her. Like the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, I went on and on, you know, and I don't want us to do that. Why do that when we can conquer it and figure it out here? So this is a perfect place. So ladies, before we go any further, what is something you guys do for self-care for yourself, since we're talking about that, taking care of ourselves?
Oh, I am so big on self-care, especially in this phase of my life. So, I exercise at least 3 to 5 days a week. I've got to hit a treadmill, and it's just so, you know, for me, kind of therapeutic at the same time. I think also, well, I won't say I think, but I do these herbal baths.
Ooh.
So I had
No
this
wine?
ancient, yeah, they're amazing. And so I have a place that sells them like in tea bags. So they put the herbs in it and you can just put it in the tub that
Ooh.
way. And so it's just so relaxing and calming to have, you know, these fresh herbs like lavender and rose
Oh,
stuff
nice.
in it. And I get facials and get facial steams. So these are things like, that I do for me. Like I have to do them to take care of me.
Yeah. What about you, Joanne?
I think the swimming really, that just helps me feel so good. So I look forward to that. I do meditation. I've done meditation every day for a long time, and that just seems to be a way I have to start my day, to just go into that quiet space.
Mm.
Um, and massage. Try to have a massage pretty regularly, and it just makes me feel better and helps my body heal and things.
I'm with you. The massage thing. Whoo, I had one last week and I was like, oh, I surely miss this so much. I really, really do miss this. Um, Real quick, ladies, we have a lot going on here. It says one from Sherry. She says, wow, I definitely agree with the group thing. It has worked for me too. And she says, I like to swim. I understand. I did until get my hair wet, so that just took me to another level. Just totally take me to another level. Ladies, before as we getting close to wrapping it up, I mean, I can't believe this. We have women out here are listening to us and following us. What's a piece of advice you'd like to tell them? What's share Kimberly? Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, I could start first. My advice, I would say to women, and I think every woman, you have to believe in yourself. And I know people would say that's tongue in cheek, but I've done a lot of work. I've only shared a little bit of my story tonight, but there's so much more to my story and the journey I've had on me. And one thing that I have had to learn in this season of my life is believing in me above all things, and believing in myself and loving myself, because that will open doors that you can never believe, whether it be in your career or in the relationships in your life or your family connections. And it does something to the overall perspective of your life. And so that is one thing that I have been sharing with other women, and I'll continue to share, is to believe in yourself and love yourself like you've never loved yourself before.
So true. And Joanne, what about you?
That was beautiful. I agree. You really have to put yourself and your passions and your dreams as priority. I read this quote just the other day, and it really hit me. It says, "Tell me to what you pay attention, and I will tell you who you are."
Ooh,
Tell me to what you pay attention, and I will tell you who you are. I think when those, like that dream of mine to do these kind of trips was something that just didn't go away, and I had to pay attention to that and say, what is that telling me, and how do I have to follow up on that? So, and we can listen to those doubts and those fears, or we can put those aside and listen to what's deeper,
yeah.
which is really important.
Absolutely. Let's touch a little bit on this. You have that poke on, or that your purpose or your love passion. Did you, Kimberly, have that in the knowing that you were going to become where you are now? And did you ignore it? Or if you did, how did you go from here?
Yeah, I think we all get that poke. And we all know, like I said, I know the road, or things that happened, earlier in my life, and you kind of know that those are the things that prepare you. But life happens. I left college and had to just take a job, and it was nowhere near in the political science space or political realm. Though I continue to volunteer and serve and help on campaigns and so many other things along the way. So in a sense, it's your passion, because you're still in that space, but you don't fight for it like you normally would, until one day that when you feel that portion of you is missing, and you have to go back and find out why. It's because you haven't fulfilled that longing or that purpose within you. And so, that's when it comes really poking at you, and when you have to move.
Yeah.
And the sooner you respond to it, the better. I'll tell anybody that, don't let it linger forever. When that urging comes, go after it. And that I think for most of us, that's what it is. It'll always come back around. No matter how far you think you get from it, it comes back to you.
Oh my goodness, you're so right. Joanne, what about you?
Some of the saddest things I know are some people that just stick with their same dead-end job that they just are not happy in. And they have some glimmers of things they might like to do, but they just don't take that thing and move with it. And that makes me so sad, because we all have these abilities to do things that are so unique that other people don't always have. And if we don't follow through, we'll never see it. So
I love that. So true. So Joanne, you had given one of your quotes. Do you have another quote that you would like? One of your favorite quotes?
Sure. Yeah, that was one I just happened to see. Here's one I put on my page once. The only impossible journey is one you never begin.
Ooh, that's good. That's so true. That's so appropriate for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Kimberly?
So this is one, like I said, it's mostly because of the space I'm in, and it's a reminder for me. And it's a quote from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it says, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy."
Ooh,
That's true.
you ladies are bringing it. See, I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, these ladies are powerful, and they have been dropping nuggets back and forth. So I hope you guys have been writing them down. I have been writing them down. Look, I had to stop, so I'm gonna have to re-listen to the recording again. I'm tired. My pen is down, and I had to get a drink. Sorry. But you ladies are so amazing. I'm so blessed to have you on my show and even get to know you. And I hope you all are following these ladies. I will have them drop their information in just a minute. I'll give you a moment to grab your pen and paper. I don't know if you were like me. I didn't put mine down because I'm tired of writing, but grab your pen and paper so you'll get to know how you can connect with them, where you can find them and things like that. But real quick, Joanne, what's your win for this week?
I've been really on the fence about what to do about this India trip. And I just decided this week, if I can go and if everything is okay on that end, I'm going to go for it. And if the other people signed up back out, then that's their choice. And I'm just going to move and go.
Good for you. Yes. Kimberly, what about you?
Oh, I have a big win. I can't really say a whole lot because the press release hasn't come out yet, but a program that I have been working on, it has been finalized and we are ready to rock and roll for this fall. And I am so excited about it. All I can say, it's for youth, and that, something else I'm passionate about. I love working to empower youth and women. And so to be able to do this it's really almost a dream come true.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. So look, she's dangled the cookie in front of us. So we're gonna have to watch what it is. I don't even know. So please don't be Pam. What is it? Because I don't know. I'm gonna be with you. I'll have to wait, but we're gonna have to follow her to find out what it is. But I have to say, my win for the week is just, again, being amongst you amazing women. I cannot say how gracious and grateful I am to have met you both. And thank you so much to be in here empowering women. And you've inspired me. So you guys have really given me that juice for the business, and I cannot wait. But if our followers wanted to get connected with you guys, how can they connect with you?
Probably for me, I can put my website, link to my website. Should I put that somewhere?
Yes.
In the chat?
If you can put it in the chat, that will be awesome.
That would be the easiest way, because you can sign up for a newsletter or just send me an email. So I'll put that in the chat.
Sounds good. And you, Miss Kimberly?
I am on Facebook as Kimberly Cummings, and I'll have to probably put it in the chat because nobody will know how to spell my first name. It's spelled differently. But Kimberly Cummings, Town of Normal. So that's a great way to follow me. Or Kimberly Harris-Cummings on Instagram.
So you guys, if you guys want to know what's coming, I don't know. So I think you guys need to connect with her and follow her. I know I am. So if you don't see anything, I definitely will drop it so you guys can definitely check her out and follow her, because I want to know. I want to know what she's working on. If not, I know. If you don't, I do for definitely sure. I definitely for sure want to. Well, ladies, we are almost to the end of our show. I thank you so much for coming on here. But before we close it out, what would you like to leave everybody with?
I think for me to tell everyone to take this time to reevaluate where you are, reassess, and take the first step. Be brave, be bold, and be beautiful.
Ooh, love it.
I love that.
Me too. Miss Joanne, what about you?
I think to look deep in your heart and see what is deepest in your soul to do, and then just go do it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
I so agree with you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see anybody's win, so you're not too late. Just drop it in the feed. We will definitely connect with you even after the show. Note that I want you all to know that you guys, we've been empowered and inspired by two other amazing co-hosts. So take what they've said and take what you have learned and go after your what's next. But if nothing else, if no one else has told you, I want to all let you know that you guys rock and you are amazing. And go after the life you live, no one else. And understand that we only have one life, and understand that we all face the what ifs and I can't. But knowing that the what's next is what moves us, empower us, and inspire us to go live our life to the fullest. to the fullest and to the max. So go out there and achieve your goals that you want. If you're needing help on achieving a goal or even setting a goal or even just talking it through, drop it in the feed and I definitely will be in contact with you. If I can't help you, you see who I have on my show? I have Kimberly and Joanne. They can definitely help you, get you to your what's next. But know that don't let your what's next sit and don't let the poke, ignore the poke, go after the poke and face it head on. Until next week, when I have another co-host or co-hosts on the show, know that we will be here same time, same place. Until next week, you all enjoy your life, take care, and thank you for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye.